Friday, everybody. Welcome to Dojo Likeness number 235, I believe it is. Wonderful to see James and a couple of new faces and everyone that's here.
Hey, Cameron.
Hey, James. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Oh, everything's going great. I enjoyed all your content this week, including the shorts you mentioned. You've been involved in some editing recently. I really enjoy when you flex that ability of yours. I don't know how monetizable it's proven to be for you, but I
It's always been
without
kind of.
no
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
no I don't have my hands in that at all, but I certainly appreciate the difference that can make on how uh, how something is received and how much it can change. Or it's just really a powerful medium. I'm glad you're putting some time into that.
Yeah, it's
You got
um yeah, it's always been surprising how much time I can put into a video and how really just no one will see it. And then I'll do a live stream and I'll do no prep at all, and then that will be considered the better content. I would say, oh, look how fucked up it is. I mean, I used to try and say that. I just don't think I understand the world. Um, and I think part of the reason why I remain in if we're going to call it a sheltered state when it comes to exposure, which I don't even know if it's that, but if it was that, I think there's a voluntary choice that I have to want to only show my work underneath this bush over here. It Today I got a. This is pretty minor, but today I took a little funny little bit about Tucker Carlson out into a little video, and I put that out, and I asked AI to give it the best thumbnail that would be more mass appeal, et cetera, et cetera. And I've gotten some comments from people that clearly do not delve into the James True way of life that you can tell are new, and they're very like staunchly pro Tucker Carlson or anti Tucker, and their comments are, I would call it rude, I would call it mean, they're calling me stupid, all the other stuff. But this is exactly what, to me, this is everything. And I wish I was better at this. I think I'm ready now to be better at it, honestly. I think that's what's happening secretly. I think that I've purposely wanted to create a harbor, a haven where I would only take so much critique, and that I would learn to nurture and drink from that and turn it into pearls. I don't want too much sand in my clam, you know what I mean? I only want just like one or two grains. And I think that's always been the source of my social media career, if we could call it that. I'm frankly shocked at how well I'm able to do with a lower count, maybe than a lot of others. It's not everyone, but still. And I think it has to do with this energy. It's wrapped into self-worth. It's attached to what I absolutely have to do to survive, has been the greatest motivator for my own self-worth. The greatest thing that pushes me the most into karaoke has been the fact that I have to do it. That alone has been the only piece that I didn't have in my conscious self that I needed the world to provide me, which is that gun to my head to, to say, look, you're not going to get any more software clients. That was the last bit for me. It was, they're not gonna call you back, James. Those people that used to call you all the time, they're not gonna call you back. And I knew this, but it was in denial. And this is really why I wrote my book. I was just, oh, they'll call back. I'm just gonna blog some more, but and they are secreting that, the the abject turning their back on me is just how it felt. It's just business, but it's nature, and when nature turns your back on you, it's supposed to sting. I hope it stings. I hope that you feel the sting so you know what limbically you know how it feels if someone's about to turn your back on you. You've had the practice of, oh, it feels like this. It feels like that person is no longer liking any of my posts. It feels like that. It's subtle energy that you have with other people, right? Not to not to force the spotlight on Nancy, but Nancy, it's the way whose name was first, whose name was left out on this email list. It's all the things that we subtly read, that we sense that are happening, that we don't have tangible proof of, but it gives us an idea of where the sentiment is. And if you don't want the sentiment to be there, where it is, because you will not survive, I'm guilty of this, then you will just be like, that cinnamon doesn't fucking exist. There's no such thing as that cinnamon. It's not there. And I will just remove those people from my life, even if it's like 50 million. Like I can do that. Turns out I can do that. Turns out it's not that hard, right? So this is my bubble of it's my epidermis, my placebo, my ego, my immune system is really what it is. If you think about it, it really is my immune system because it's the outer fringes of my cosmology, which says that the left isn't right and the right isn't left. And and that I'm outside of that, but now I'm in this different place where I'm outside of that and I compassionate them because I'm also outside of the playground itself. So now I can look in the fence and watch them. Oh, look at that. They're hitting each other. And I'm just watching kids play. And so now I'm closer. I'm not losing energy. I'm actually closer to them than I've been before because I don't see a threat. I don't see that, oh my God, if we could just show them one little, just one more meme, James. If you just show them just the right meme, they will explode like flavor crystals. And that works, but I'm not a doper. I'm not convinced that the world is going to be destroyed unless that happens. This takes me out of the running. I will never be in the yellow jersey because I don't feel that way. So, watching some of the comments come in on Tucker, I'm reminded how valuable it is to have that kind of snidism brought to my door, and I don't have to say anything. It's a gift. And I really want to, I say this all the time. It's a common struggle, but I'm just telling you, this is the artist. I think this is how the artist grows. It's first you have to find the snide comments. First, you have to find those. You literally, those are hard to find. The first several years of your art career, it doesn't matter what you do. People are going to say it's great because people want to like you. They want you to like them. What harm does it good to say it's great? And if it's okay, it's okay. This is natural. You do this. I do the same thing. They, we, me, I, you, you know. So now you start to understand, well, why do I do it? Because I'm a lying piece of shit? No, that's like 3 hertz why you do it. That's if you want to have the prawn economy that because I'm a lying piece of shit, then go there. Yeah. Yeah, that's the perfect reason why you do it. But if you're not there, if you're at 13 hertz, then why do I do it? It's because the world is built on placebo. The world is built on cosmology where people have a delicate facade, a delicate flame that they're carrying across a windy field. And you see that. You don't want to come fucking blow on it. You don't know whether they could burn down a whole building with that flame. You don't know. You want to see. You're like, hey man, it's not even about you have to have the right flame. It took me a while to realize that. I the worst thing an artist could do is go to the football stadium and try and peddle their wares, try and sell them in a place like that. I would never survive. Do you know who would survive? Pepsi. Those fuckers would do it. They would know exactly how to be in the stadium. They would know how to. People can say, "You're made of aborted fetus cells," and they're like, "Fuck yeah, we are. Man, we don't fucking care. We are syrupy, uh, high fructose, just gelatinous sludge, carbonated." And if you buy our product, we'll donate a penny to diabetes. This is mainstream. Now you're cooking. I want to be blessed. I feel like I am more than I'm not. I feel like most of us in our artist career are not feeling blessed yet by finding that red pheasant. It's not critique. Your friends will give you critique. I'm talking about blatant snidism. This is vandalism, is the only way you can test. Hey, is this thing going to set on fire? Is this thing burn proof? Is this thing burn proof? All your friends are going to say, dude, there's no way that's going to get burned down. No one would burn that down. They're going to tell you that. It's the bottle kids, you know. It's the people coming by that are mad and angry and they picked you because you're out on the street. This is the ultimate form of crucifixion. The open market, the of social media, but also of products. This is really the ultimate kind of crucifixion. And the reason why there's only certain few at the very, very top, because they don't mind being crucified. I can look at, I know there's hands up, but let me just say, I can look at these comments coming in telling me how stupid or lame or whatever else it is I am. And if I can place my place my private parts in that water and just understand, look, it's okay, it's just cold or it's just hot. Like that's really all it is. You know, it's that tender moment where you're just kind of like, is this okay? Of course it is. But it's all mental. It's all spiritual is a better word. It's all spiritual. And you get to do this. Do you want it to be someone throwing scalding hot water on you, or do you want to slip your toes into a nice steaming hot bath? It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. And ultimately, your bulletproofness is you would be fine either way. But see, I'm not there. I'm not. I really do want nature to be where I would enjoy the bath and I would fucking hate the coffee. I don't want to be bulletproof, right? I want to be. This is the art. This is the art that I want. If I wanted to be bulletproof, I would never post on social media. If I wanted to be bulletproof, I would have 16 books behind me that are written, and none of you fuckers read them, right? So it's just I'm just a little tiny opening. Like when you look at what the massive people that are popular in whatever they is, you know, Katy Perry is just that's what it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It looks like it does, but it ultimately doesn't because it would have stopped a long time ago, right? It's a different kind of flower. I'm not saying it's better, but it is nature. That's all I got. Thank you.
You've been consistent over the course of time that I've known you that you'd rather be sensitive than callous, and I bet it does burn. I felt like the point of your Tucker uh, Governor Ted Cruz juxtaposition was that they were both affirming that Iran wanted to assassinate Trump, you know, and that their disagreement uh, essentially forces all of that to a head, you know, and but still, I mean, it must burn that that's not received,
Oh
except
yeah, no, they don't get that. And even the Hegelian dialectic, someone commented, I think if I was smarter, I would think this is funny. Like that's exactly the stadium stuff, you know. Let's go to the football stadium, Cameron, and try and tell people how funny the Hegelian dialectic is. How out of all the dialectics that are there in the world, the Hegelian is the worst. Let's go to a football game, right? And try and get those people on board. You know, it's it's tonally never going to happen. It's not even supposed to, you know. And this is really the it would take more confidence as an artist to be out here in this fringe. However, out here in this fringe, there are certain advantages that you have because you're not exposed to the tilapia, you know. You're deep fish joke, but it's true. Like it's a different diet. They're looking for a different thing. So
well, in physical science, and I'll use it as a metaphor, they say that repulsion is a sure sign of magnetism than attraction. And like you were saying earlier, it's easy for people to support your work, especially whenever there's desire to be liked and to like. But But when people get angry, even if they've missed the point, I think that still
Yeah.
shows that you've got the chemistry right.
Let me just say one more, which is because we were talking about magic. I hope you guys can see that all I'm trying to share is this. I'm under the impression, my cosmology tells me that if all of my vertebrae have the right yaw, pitch, and roll, if each one has the right XYZ rotation, that means identity. If each one has its identity is aligned in just the right way, that I sing the body electric, I broadcast the antenna which receives abundance for me. It is exactly tied to that. All of the success that I actually have and all the pretense, all the pretending I do that I do not is me stirring my Tasmanian feet to try and gain speed to evil Knievel over the next spot, the next acoustic shelf, right? Where you can vibrate here. You're still not standing on anything, but there's an acoustic shelf here and there's an acoustic shelf here. And that this xylophone is the only instrument I have to receive that. It's all on that posture. It's all there. This is what I've just really think is going on, but I've been thinking it my whole life, and it's not putting me on a Lance Armstrong level. Quite the opposite. But it does sustain me. Not only does it sustain me, it seems to sustain me in a way that makes me squeeze paste out that I would not squeeze if I had more abundance, which means I get to look at myself as being wiser than myself. That if I already know that I am a sapient of my sapiens, I'm an awareness of my homo ness. Feel free to clip that out. That if there's at least two of those, why would there not be a third? And wouldn't stepping into that sapience itself just be what I'm talking about now? Which is, well, ultimately, all you really have is reflexology. Ultimately, all you really have is a joystick. And the joystick is not really about, all of us learn that the joystick is about X, where is it? But guess what? If you relax the wrist, and the whole time the joystick's been reading pressure too. And we're like, whoa. This thing reads pressure? I've been playing this for like 600 years. And it turns out that if I squeeze harder, I actually make things more tense and all the colors turn into like darker shades of evil and shit. And when I lighten up, there's rainbows show up. Look at this. Here's a fucking chemtrail. If you're pinky, look. And you can make it come and go. You can make all the hallucinations come and go. All the shitty things, all the shitty stares, all the paranoia that's happening in your mind as you're wondering what someone's thinking, that is the part that you control. The ghost in the machine is how hard to squeeze. This is the essence. The essence. I wish it was a different word. I'm sorry, but this is the essence of the muscle that just dictionarily is called sphincter. It's this aperture, it's this opening, this lens. It's if you think about it like a muscle like that, you can tap into your polyvagus. This is what I tell myself. And I say, why am I clenched? Am I clenched? Why am I clenched? Is it a good idea to be clenched? Am I about to do something that I might want to clench for? Right? And am I about to do something that I might want to unclench for? These are questions that no one who plays ColecoVision, no one who plays Atari has ever fucking asked, which is, how hard am I squeezing on this joystick? It's never been an input before. It's unless you're like a beyonder, right? Unless someone's in like pure flow state, and you're watching them and you're wondering how they do it, and they don't know either. So you have to guess, and that's what this is. It's my best pretending guess.
Absolutely. I'm sorry for monopolizing the conversation, Lori. I'm looking forward to getting to you. I just you talk about trying to take a guess, and it makes me think about what you must work through trying to formulate a model for success whenever, I don't know, when I came to the group, sovereignty was a big issue, but I think as you've grown over this time, James, I feel like you've brought it more towards like sanctity, which doesn't require those others necessarily, but the symbiosis it does. And just thank you for everything you shared just now. I can't wait to listen to all that again. Lori, I'm going to go to you. It's good to see you. And I got to say, I just love watching you when you're on the road. You look especially sun-kissed, and it's good to see you.
Well, it's good to be here. I really loved the dojo on Wednesday. Was really inspired by it, and I think it's continuing today. And I had a lot of thought about this calories, posture, self-worth. Um, I feel that I'm able to hold a posture that I was never able to do before. So, James, I'm gonna like say this since like what I'm really seeing as a medicine people, you don't know who you touch by touching them from a negative comment or so if you get this huge following and you're a Katy Perry, how much do you touch to change something? Or is it just that it's comfortable and that's the comfort movement of success? So it's like this level of what do you consider success with a unique experience of the pressure on a joystick, for instance. I'm like, really? Um, the level of nuance for a beyonder is beyond what I can imagine if I hadn't have heard you, read your books. Um, I'm sitting in a van in Alabama. That's why I look a little bit more sun-kissed than normal. But I've been for the last over 30 days, I have not been inside anywhere. I've been living in outside. Birds waking me up in the morning. I mean, the last place I was, it was on a mountaintop in the Smoky Mountains. I think probably in over a five-star hotel kind of experience. And now I'm in my van, and I think it's five-star too because of my own posture. And as an artist, being before my time, I've lived in a van before it was my time. I know, James, you shared that. You lived in a van before it was your time. Maybe it was, people call me hobo, whatever. I have a house. I don't need to live in a van. I have enough calories that I choose to do this, and it's like amazing experience for me. But I kind of think as you do this thing that other people have never done before, you're going to get people that really are mean and ugly because you've actually challenged their belief systems that they don't even know that they're unconsciously having. And so for a person like me that needed the food that you had to offer, and how many of us are there, and even the ones that kicked off of you or changed forever, you don't know who those people are. I mean, we want to think that you get all of this, like you do this big work and then you get all this, proof of concept of a validated life with actually more money or whatever, but you kind of affect people more by disturbing them out of their comfort zone. So I kind of relate to that as an artist. I told everybody that I sold these pieces of art that I wasn't trying to sell. It was the first art I made. It was on my wall. And I was like, this woman comes in and she's like, I want those. And I'm like, I don't even know what to charge for them. And, the conversation of what do you charge for your art? And like, I don't think it's the highest thing to not charge money for your art. I think it's a lack of self-worth. But I don't really think it's your worth that gets the money either. It's something about a relationship to self. So I didn't care if I kept that art or if I sold that art. And then when she wanted me to commission something, I had to kind of think, do I want to make something that that person likes, which was what I was making in the beginning? I don't know. So I went and I started to do what she was inspired by. And if I made it in 2003, and I have been ahead of my time my whole life, I have not. If you wait 10 years, what I do is in. It's just the way it is. I've always known that. So how can I expect someone to get me when I'm doing it now? They don't. And what about a Van Gogh? He didn't sell one piece while he was alive. So I was like, okay. So I'm at this music festival and I'm wearing a hat, and everyone in that festival wanted my hats. Now, I made hats and I probably could have made a living on making hats, but they were Beyonder hats. Now people are catching up and now they want them. And I don't want to make them. I want to stay beyond. I've always going to do that. That's just the way it's going to be. So I decided I'm going to make what I love. And if I sell it, I sell it. And if I don't, I don't. And I wanted to share one other thing about galleries, because I have galleries. And when you're a sensitive person and your stuff is in a gallery, do you know that you'll have stuff in a gallery and the people only like certain things that you make, but you don't want to make those anymore because you're making the things you want to make now, but they don't get them yet. And so they're looking at it and you don't even have to, you just know they don't like it. And then you go, oh, maybe I should have made what they want. And that's you stepping out of what your integrity is with self. And one thing I'll say about me is I've never stepped out of integrity with myself. And I probably have, I could have been way more successful, et cetera, doing what other people want me to do or what people get, what people understand, what people are comfortable with. And so I was thinking about I'm making this new series and I don't even know what the gallery would be that would want to take this on, because it's not my sculptures. It's not what people are used to me making. It's something different. And I've showed a couple of it. I have some ideas on how I want to frame it. It's kind of a unusual way to frame paper, because usually I have to put paper behind glass, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to beeswax it and I'm going to weave it into some sticks, and it's going to be different. And I'm excited about the thing just for the sake of me making it. And maybe I'll hold on to it for 10 years until the people catch up. I'm like, okay with it. So the last thing I want to share, and this is really amazing that I can speak this long and not lose my train of thought. So this is a good practice to be able to do. I'm like really excited to be able to do this. I met with my oldest grandchild, Zephyr. She's a they. And if I hadn't showed up here in Alabama on this day, with my daughter not wanting me to really visit, now that's a really good story. I wouldn't have seen her because she's moving to another location. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have seen her, but I wouldn't have seen her on this trip. And it is the solstice, and it is a powerful, kick-ass day. I mean, I tell you, we've been having a lot of them, but this is like in particular. And I just had breakfast with her, and she's packing up her apartment and moving. And the reality of the situation is I have a daughter that doesn't like me. And she has a lot of children, and basically the validation of doing this inner work is I've known she hasn't liked me. She just considered just like everything about me being the way I am. Like, you can call me conspiracy theorist, you can call me crazy, you could call me a hobo, you can call, I just don't do anything that she thinks is right. And she really doesn't want her kids to like me too much, or she doesn't want them to be like me at all. So I already knew that. And so when I sat with my oldest person, she pretty much validated that. And I already knew it. And I don't even have any emotion like bad, good, just like that's reality. So when you have enough posture, you don't lose calories for that. And I'm like, is that amazing? I'm like, that I feel like I could stay here in this town where she lives, and she doesn't want me to come until Wednesday because I can go see the kids doing their swim thing. And then I got to leave Thursday morning. Then I'm welcome to come back 4th of July, but only stay for whatever. But she really doesn't want me to come to visit. And I had the calories to be able to do this, loving myself and not feeling like there's something wrong with me. And when I did that internally with myself, it changed how my art was valued. My art is selling. My art is me. My art is my resonance. And not, compromising with my own integrity and self. It's just like an amazing thing to witness for myself, not for anyone else to witness. And I've had to do with when I had that susceptibility to wanting to be acknowledged. Remember, I was sharing with that acknowledgement. So it's like acknowledged from who? Like, who do you need to acknowledge you and why? So good questions. And I'm glad that I'm here. And thanks, Cameron, for hosting and moderating.
Thank you, Lori. So glad you got to see Zephyr. You've mentioned them before in the meetings, and it just seems rich that you can uh, have some sort of relationship with your. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm just glad to hear that you got to see them before they left, and much like when James was speaking earlier about feeling like him affecting it or working with his mailbox changed Google saying he was not a fraud anymore. I absolutely feel these connections like you holding on to your self value and how your art value has somehow seemingly like improved around all of that. Science says, causation isn't the same as or correlation isn't the same as causation, and yet there are these connections. I'm so pleased that you feel the reality of that. That's so wonderful. Does anybody else would like to say anything to Lori before we move to the next hand? Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
actually, I will
Okay, go ahead,
uh,
Drew.
respond to that with the children. We have a tradition in the men in my family that we go through our 30s without contacting the parent. We come from a long line of only children. I was not actually an only child, but my brother is 10 years younger than I was. I was pretty much out of the house, so I never really got to know him to this day. But anyway, with my son, I left that marriage when he was 6 years old. And I carried around a lot of guilt for a long, long time. And as I began to forgive myself and learn, some of my own patterns, I slowly, eventually let go of that guilt, let go of it, was able to transmute it. And on Father's Day, we had a conversation about the family dynamics that was really, really the best conversation we'd had in years. And I realized that um, by me letting go of my guilt and trying to be a good dad, he finally felt safe enough to come forward and share something like, you and my mom are the two most important people in my life. And and it was just like this beautiful sharing, spontaneous. That I was not, it was completely unexpected because I had pretty much let go. I mean, we go through and we communicate through funny memes. That's how we've been communicating for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and very, very seldom see each other. And he's living his life, and I'm celebrating his life. He's finally getting to a point where he's getting more calories and he's getting more self-esteem. And I'm celebrating that. I don't have to be a part of it and check in on him. How you doing? How you doing? So it was a beautiful gift. And I guess I'm trying to amplify or echo what Lori was saying. There really is a gift there. The more I can let go of all that stuff from the past, the more present I can be, and the gifts show up in a really unexpected way.
It's kind of like Old Yeller. Uh, like anytime any movie or related to Old Yeller, any history with a horse, it's always this scene where the boy has to be mean to the horse or the dog, right? To save them, you know? And it's like, you get out, I don't like you anymore. You get out. And you're crying your eyes out because you're watching this pag love, love that's outside the spectrum of what society teaches you, because society teaches you about survival, and this is not helping your survival. You're the fucking Old Yeller, man. He's Flipper's going home. Pete's dragon is going away. What the fuck, man? You need this. But not when you develop sanctity, when you start to sink into this idea that survival is not the epitome. This of this is exactly what a this is exactly what a sprout looks like before it puts off its first branch. It's this delicate thing of survival, survival, survival. And then it starts to emit these other things. And I think that the negative emotion that we see from actually before we get to the negative emotion, the some of us want to consciously become an artist. Many of us are unconsciously becoming an artist. There's no difference, right? But some of us are consciously aware of it. And that conscious awareness is probably the only thing that really makes us strive more to have it be admitted in the world. All of us are practicing art, only some of us want it to be acknowledged or admitted that it's that way. Everyone else wants it to be more esoteric. I just want to have more money than my neighbor says. That's the esotericism of it. It's that you can imagine how much my painting would be worth if I would paint it because of the size of my house, the braces on my kids' teeth, and what number comes after the word Q on the infinity in my driveway. Like it's that these things are magic potential that we wear as talisman instead of exercising our magic or exercising our intimidational ability to do those things. So all of us are exercising creative worth in a way. The artist is probably more wanting it to be from the inside out versus the unconscious artist wants it to appear first from the outside, right? To fulfill it on the inside. So one is a facade trying to build its way into the castle. The other is let's make a keep first, and then we'll build an outer gate next. Both techniques are practicing art. It's easy to look at the other and go, "You're fucking stupid," or "You're heartless," or "You're not alive." But they're both are seeking the same thing. And this is something I've had to fathom with my mom. It's it's just I really have trouble stomaching how shark-like she can be. Just that dark eye kind of sharp thatness of her. I have to want in the room. I have to want that in my field because that's the sine wave. And I wouldn't be able to survive if I didn't have the ability to kick myself from the nest as much as she would have the ability to kick my ass out of the nest. That we would need a co-related attempt to develop selfhood because maybe because we would understand our own threat as parents. Think about it like, look, you're going to hold this fucking posture. If you're going to want a kid to rise out of this posture and have this posture, you're going to have to fucking treat them like shit for a while so that they can bling, they can get enough sploing, right? To want to admit their way out of it. This is why it's so crucial to realize that if your daughter hates you, this is this is so much more important than your daughter has absolute apathy for you. Like if I hate you or I despise you is actually I respect the posture that is so completely necessary inside of me and I just don't want to have to justify it. Fuck you. Stop making me understand that I need this posture, mom. Stop it. Isn't this what Nero did to Seneca? Fucking Nero, raised by Seneca. Why is this fucking man in Rome? Right? And Nero, as soon as he's appointed emperor, he's like, you're making me feel bad, and that is making it harder for me to be emperor. Like that's a classic example of how do you get there? You my mom probably wanted me to fucking hate her. Like probably at like 3 weeks old. She's like, oh fuck. I gotta lob this thing as far as I can because if not, it'll be crushed in my shadow, says the elephant. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. It's it's this is how I've never stretched my compassion so much than what I'm telling you guys right now because I've had to stare at the fucking shark and I'm like literally drinking from her fucking nipples and I'm just like, why is this world happening? Ah, what are these fucking shark scales? What the fuck? And it's like seriously, just like trying to be raised like it's just been fucking awful. It's been fucking awful, and it's the only thing that's made the pay squeeze out. It's the only thing. So, and I've always known that. I don't recall a time I haven't known that. I've still bitched about it because I'm like, well, can we just have a conversation? And the shark's like, no. What the- I don't want to fucking not be a shark. Like, I have to be. No, I'm not gonna have a conversation about this. I'm not gonna become warm blooded. Why would I? Why would I do that? Right? It's like a whale and a shark. These guys are both important, aren't they? Like they're both crucial. They're both completely different. This is why I think you don't really relate to your parents. You're not going to relate to your kids nearly as much, I think, as the step, the in between. It's just more closer to your weave or your weft. And I think that ability to not relate is crucial and beautiful. Like it's not something to you get what I'm saying. It's just it's such a beautiful thing that if you understand that you do not understand, if you place your sapience in front of your sapience in front of your sapience, then you get to disregard what your neocortex is saying and trust the calligraphy of your life and understand that that calligraphy is working, right? That this relationship's working. That if 2 years ago had I not just finally said, "Mom, I can't, I just can't fucking, I can't, I got nothing for you. I don't even fucking know who you are." And I would have, if I was still holding out hope, I would have waited for her to be like, "Oh, let me call you back. Hey, why can't we be? Oh, I miss you." No, I probably gave her permission to die. She probably was like, "Fuck, he's done. God, fuck, that guy would not let go. God, my nipple." It's just like, fuck. I tried to make him hate me. I literally I poisoned as much as this milk as I could. He would not let go. Holy shit, what a needy thing. I'm not giving birth to these anymore. And this kind of makes sense. Like she would have to go psychopathic to save the grapefruit that is James True. Like it's like this is probably what's happening, but it's never going to be conscious, which means not only do you not get to give them credit for it, you also don't get to blame them for it. You get to the credit is yours, the blame is yours. This is you or the avatar of your DNA, not her, not her. You are. You're just the cursor right now, right? You're just this is where it is right now. So there's where you need to reconcile, right? You need to reconcile with that signal because that's your wake. That's all I got.
Hey, that was awesome, James. I really appreciate it. It's interesting because, Zephyr was really, she got a car like mine. She's artistic. She was culled from the herd because she came out like me. And she was the oldest, so she was a she then. She's a they them now. But she was so smart and so rational. We had this beautiful conversation. She's telling me that essentially we both know that this beautiful person I birthed just wants her people to be super close. So she's trying to control everything. She's not doing the thing to give that person their freedom. She's doing it. She does. And so it was said that she believes, as the oldest, that she didn't want any of her children to ever leave. Now, can you imagine that? And that is a love language. So being able to compassionate that and not be, I'm dangerous to that thing that every single one of them has. And to be able to go in there knowing this already, that she doesn't like me, really doesn't like me, and how I can compassionate that. I tell you, I don't think if I hadn't met you, James, I would have ever not gone victim to this. This is a victim, classic, justifiable, forever victim thing. So thanks for this. I get to do this. I get to. And I'm like excited to do it. So, and I told Zephyr, I said, this life that you've led, all artists and autists, because she's an autist too, they get to take that. And it is the magic that will fuel the nugget of their alchemy to be who they are from that hardship, from that. It's classic. Some of the best writers come from this. Uh, all all levels. It's like where the growth is in this. So it's a hero's journey, like in a classic way. So thanks, James.
Beautifully said, Lori. And certainly what you're achieving is very sophisticated, and it's just love hearing about it. True. Floor is yours. Go ahead. True, I don't know if you heard me or if anyone heard what I just said, but the floor is yours if you're ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So much good stuff here. I'm kind of jumping around trying to stay in present time. And I just wanted to say about mother issues. I my mother is a master of triangulation, spinning webs, sitting in the middle of it and acting all innocent. Well, I don't know why everybody shares these things with me. I don't know. And my dad tried to tell me this before he passed on years and years ago. And I just didn't get it. I was so wrapped up in my wounds with him. I couldn't see the whole family dynamic. So anyway, right before right before COVID, my brother got divorced, and my mom had this racket between them, this triangle, always crying "poor me" to my brother because his ex-wife, was so um, uncaring, unloving, whatever, blah blah blah. Then when they got divorced, it started to come to myself and my partner, and all of a sudden, I had done enough work to say, "Holy shit! Now it's my turn." And I just said, "I'm refusing to play this game, Judy." My mom's name. I call her by Judy. I said, "I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game." And so and we didn't speak for 2 years. I just said, "I'm not doing it." And then so about 6 months ago, yeah, about 6 months ago around Christmas, we reconnected. And I say, if we can agree to stay in present time and talk about what's going on now, I'll be happy to have a relationship with you, Judy. I will. I love you. And ever since then, she really honored that. We had a conversation on Father's Day, and just our conversations aren't more than 10 or 15 minutes. I find out what's going on with her. I give her what's going on with me, and it's a very pleasant conversation. I feel good inside about it. So, it's I guess it's all about boundaries. And self worth. So that's all. That's all I got right now.
A lot of the things you guys are sharing is memory crystals in some deep open places. It's yeah, it's Mary. Mary Jo, will you please take over for me? Sorry, it's just a lot to take in, a lot to think about.
Hi everyone. And Lori, it looks like you're doing awesome and sounds like you're doing great. And I'm so happy to hear that. That's like really means like sovereignty. I think, going out and getting living in a van if whenever you want to, like that's awesome. But what I was gonna say is I don't know if anybody remembers and I think it might be the Thoth Tarot deck, but I think the Temperance card is called Art in that deck, or on one of the decks. It's called Art. And the angel being has like in the star card, there's 1 foot in water, I think, and 1 foot on the ground, and they're just pouring. And I think that art and sovereignty are related in this way because you have to make your boundaries. Like with my family, I absolutely had to say, like you're just not manipulated anymore. You just get to ground zero. Like, I don't want to control anything. I just want to not be so controlled or expected. There's some things you don't have to hold on to some of the emotional memory. Like when you know it's time to cut that with a sword, you cut it off and it feels really good. So I just think all of those things are really entwined. And I also wanted to say, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Tenet, like Tenet. Um, it's a movie by he's pretty famous. He did one of the Batman movies, The Dark Knight Rises, I think. Christopher Nolan. So in Tenet, a big part of the story is there's these people who have art in a storage space, and the storage space is, and these people are like the top wealthy people, and they have it in this air controlled and piece of land where it's like neutral and it can't be audited and all this stuff. And it's like whatever that is representing, I think that's really clever in that movie, how he explains that what it is that we want, this sovereignty to be artists, feels like it's locked away in this air controlled environment. It's over there, it's not here, it's wherever. And I don't know if anybody realized that when they saw that movie. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
Can I comment on that,
Thank
Cameron?
you, Lori. Yes.
Um, I was listening. I don't usually listen to NPR, but it was this commentary on this famous artist. He's a African American, Terrence, a tenant, starts with a T, and he's done a lot of like awareness of slave, the black diaspora. And so he was the interviewer asked about the painting that sold for $1 million, and he said, well, that's really interesting because I think felt like I was doing well. I sold that painting for $12,000, and it was one of those things that was locked up in the air conditioning and whatever, and somebody bought it as an investment, and whoever bought it got the $1 million. The artist didn't get the $1 million. So it's like your intellectual property is, as an artist, is not necessarily yours, it's the world's if you're selling it, right? So it was an interesting thing. Like, I want to watch that movie Tenet. I don't know if it sounds kind of familiar, but it's like it is a cabal. The art has a cabal connector, cables connection connected to it as well, because the artist, I mean, this guy made a movie about his life, and he had a hard childhood. He had his father that was a crack addict, and he went and compassionated his father to be able to tell the story correctly, because they took all the jobs away in Michigan, and then there was no jobs, and then he kind of sees how his father comes back to his life. He hates him. He's like the villain in the story, but then he sees why his father became his father and why he's an artist, kind of successful artist, and doesn't have to. It's amazing when you think about art and you think about the value of art and who owns the value of art, and a lot of it is um, bought up by speculators and then sold later, and the artist doesn't get the money. So, thanks.
Absolutely, Lori. With that, I've only ever been an amateur artist in my entire life. I use that word advisedly, though. I frankly also came from a family who uh, uh, my mom had me when she was young, and so her parents helped raise me. My father was a singer-songwriter. Well, he was in the military, he went to school, was a singer-songwriter, had a films degree. My mom was pursuing a law degree. She was the first one in her family to go to school. So she came from a very work-oriented background. Art wasn't appreciated, but it was always something I uh, identified with. James mentioned, that there's a reason why we don't relate to our parents and maybe relate more to our grandparents. Maybe it was because I was estranged, but I related a lot to that part of myself being an artist. And I love that Mary Jo just makes a distinction about an artist as a desire for sovereignty. And I think everyone has been alluding to that. And I think that is so.
I want to get something in here too, if I can, because when you think about the collector didn't make the art. All they did is buy something, and the artist did get the money. The artist got 12,000. The artist got 12,000, and they felt that they were doing really well when they got that. The artist may feel cheated afterwards because someone else got 1 million, but this is an interesting. I think that they would feel cheated because they did not disassociate from their work as they're supposed to. If they would have disassociated, it would be an orphan. I gave birth to this orphan and I wanted it to be raised right, so I sold it to this orphanage for 12 grand and look at him, he's a millionaire now. Orphanage made $1 million fucking bucks off that kid. I did the good thing. I did a good thing. The Beyonder has taste that resonates from his posture, and the taste has so much worth because it's his posture that his taste makes money simply by expressing itself. It's so beautiful. The eye of the Beyonder is so beautiful. It's worth money. This is another way of looking at it. I'm not saying it's disagreeing with what we're saying, but I'm saying that this is a different posture to consider this. That the Beyonder is not taking advantage of the artist. The Beyonder is simply noticing beauty. And by noticing the beauty, the artist is able to feel the worth of 12 million, but only have to swallow 12,000. It's a way of stepping up. It's a way of learning. I have the potential to be worth 12 million, but I can only drink 12,000 because you'll drown out my entire squeeze process that I have going on here in my studio, right? So I want just enough to not fuck this up. What happens when someone in a trailer park wins the lottery? Every fucking time, that dude's dead. He's like dead in like a year. Either he's murdered or he dies of some weird disease, but he's dead. He's fucking, he can't, or he's broke. Thank God. If he gets out alive, he's broke, right? He loses it all and he's somehow still alive. He's just missing like a toe or some shit like that, you know, and he's scarred for life now, isn't he? It's the worst thing that could have happened to him. So it's a cooperative relationship that we have. And the Beyonder, this is what AI is teaching. AI is teaching you, no, you don't need to know how to paint. No, you don't need to know how to practice all that music. No, you don't need to know how to all this. You just have to have taste. You have to have the ability to say, yeah, let's go with this. That is huge. And how can we have the idea that all we have to do is walk into a room and flip something off a menu and gain value from that? And we have the icons that I know we hate, but the only icons that could show us the worth of their own opinion have to dope to get there because they don't have the capacity themselves, which is us training ourselves where we need to go using the crucified backs of people that are so disassociated that they're just basically just husks, scarecrows that we place on the hood of our car, imagining this is what I want to be. I want to be up there. I kind of like it here in the air conditioning. So all of this is showing us this potential for this. This is every Brahman story you've ever heard, right? The highest caste of I don't know, insert whatever fucking word you want here because there's so many gods that emanate this, but the idea of perfection that glows with resonance so much that you cannot help but be resonant. You turn to gold just by watching it. You reflect the goldness of this. This is a just a signal. It's no different than happy birthday to you. It's no different than we will rock you. It's what do I need to say to you to get you to agree to open your vessels to put the XYZ in every vertebrae. And the only way we can learn that is to watch someone who does it better than us and copy them, and watch someone who does it better than us and copy them, and watch someone who does better than us and copy them. So we're building ourselves into this location, but we're using the the fakeness of the people that are willing to dope, the charlatans, get us there. The fucking oracle of charlatanism is showing us how to reach the perfect human. We reach the perfect human by saying, which one of you guys wants to lie the most? All right, get up there. Let's see what you got. Well, that's fucking suck. Let's burn you and catch you on fire. Hey, thanks for playing. This is every fucking icon we've ever had. It's moved us further than anything else that we've ever tried. Literally anything else. And we've definitely tried. Let's just make the nice guy. No, it's we get nowhere. We stay right here. We stay right here because people like me are like, I'm satisfied just being with this. It's true. I'm not the best person that's gonna let's fucking break through the wall and get to the other side. I'm not gonna do that. I'm fine. I'm just like how, Musk wants to go to Mars. That's that's how powerful that I fucking hate myself gets you, you know? This is power. This is charlatanism. So like I'm looking forward to other hands. But seriously, this is what all the magic is, I think.
Yeah, the canvas is like a placebo, and sometimes, yeah, I mean, the person who puts the value on it can purchase it and say, I know I can fit $12 billion worth of US dollar value into this, and whereas the artist, I think a lot of times is an engine. I mean, when you're fully in body and fully engrossed in the bodily experience of a creative act, sometimes it's different than an intellectual place. And let me see who's next, guys. Give me just one moment here. Hi, thank you. Good to see you. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Cameron. Well, with all your talk about Iran, it was kind of taking me back to back when I was a young fella. When I was 19, I ran across a young Persian woman. Her family was friends of the Shah, and her uncle was a famous bronze sculptor. But he's just a sculptor. But back then, he was known for his bronze sculpture. Probably like the most famous sculptor in Iran. But it made me wonder how he's like 88 years old, and I think he had a showing in like Canada just like last year. But one of the interesting things is, his stuff sold for probably millions of dollars over his lifetime. Is like in his early bronze sculptures, I remember looking at them. And this is in the early 80s. This is during the time when, his niece, she was very Western and was at odds with this other university student, as I was, who was Western but less Western. Sugave was like her nemesis. But anyway, it was interesting. Like I got this impression, like it was as if the Amish like just were more populous, and like as if the Amish like started running things. Like all of a sudden, like you had Amish people running things. That's the way I thought about it back then when I was 19, the way she described it to me. But anyway, he uses this old 13th century type of I don't know, like a nostalgique, I think it's called, but it's just an older Persian, not as Arabic character, I guess you'd call it, that he uses. But I guess what I wanted to mention is that, we're talking about the value. I think he's probably most famous for his sculptures they're heeches, they're called. Heech is the word for nothing. And it's like he uses three of these old, it's basically a three-dimensional character representing nothing, using three of these old nostalgique figures. And so he's selling nothing. He's this most famous artist, and what he's most known for is nothing. So I just thought I'd mention that. It just seemed, I don't really need to describe anything else. It might not, I don't really even want to talk about, I don't want to get him in trouble the way things are going right now. But it was an interesting time, and it shaped my early, view of the world. And I might not have done some of the things that I'd done if it wasn't for that. But anyway, just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, I like that he would refer to his copper sculptures, which are so weighty in and of themselves, and to see that as nothing, I mean, in that esoteric way to name them that is brilliant. True. I think your hand is raised next.
Yeah, I didn't see any other hands, so I'm just going to jump back in. Yeah, Pi, your comments reminded me of Walter Russell. who I've been been aware of for years and years. There's this little book called "The Man Who Tapped the Secrets of the Universe," and a lot of people don't know this. Walter Russell actually came up with the idea of co-op housing, i.e., the condo, and unfortunately the HOA. But he made a fortune. But he was also a master sculptor. He was commissioned by presidents to, like FDR. He was commissioned to do FDR's official bust. And this guy, he just created and created and he was a real artistic beyonder. I mean, it just when I found out about this guy, it just blew me away because he didn't have to worry about money, and he just kept in the zone. He wouldn't create more than 2 hours at a time, and then take a break, go into meditation, and then come back and focus all of his being on his work. Just a phenomenal guy, and at some point he had this. Uh, I think it was a 38-day, 37-day vision, and that's when he wrote the Universal One and started his spiritual work. But just an amazing guy. Okay. But what I wanted to do really is come back to the opening comment about James, your scripted work versus unscripted work, and what I really delight. And this is not meant to be encouragement. This is just how I feel listening to you unscripted. I AM radio back in the '80s was my lifeline. Uh, I used to listen to it all day just to get in a better mood. I mean, and I lived in Chicago where they had some amazing DJs like probably some of you have never heard of these guys: Steve Dahl, Jonathan Brandmeier, Kevin Matthews. I mean, just brilliant. They just make stuff up on the fly, and the spark of it, just I delight in it, James. The unscripted stuff, your sense of humor, and just it just touches me. It tickles my inner child. But then I thought about how a guy like Howard Stern, and I think he exemplifies all the things you were talking about. You know, he kept calling himself the king of all media. I'm the king of all media. I'm the king of all media. And guess what? Everybody else started calling him the king of all media. No matter what you think of him personally or his political views or anything like that, he manifested that. And I went to his movie. I was never a big fan, but I did go to his movie. It was kind of funny in some parts. But the thing that I got out of it was they did a survey of the people that like Howard Stern, listened to him X number of minutes per day. But the people that didn't like Howard Stern listened to him longer than the people who liked him, just to hear what he'd say. So, you know, I just think it was hysterical, so ironic. So that's all I got.
Well, I don't want to bore anybody, but I do feel like first of all, I have revelations all the time, so probably take this with a grain of revelation salt. But I honestly I feel like I've had an epiphany lately because I've always wondered, I've really just struggled with just what the format is and what it's supposed to be, and am I supposed to cut stuff? Is it too long? Is it too short? Blah blah blah. And it kind of hit me only lately. I think what I'm supposed to do is stream as long as I want. Don't worry about making sure that the stream is tight. Uh, just let it be more just flow. Like literally get up sometimes and walk in the kitchen and fix myself a cup of coffee and just leave you guys kind of there, like while a song's playing or something. Like really turn it into a DJ kind of a thing, but I don't want to be looked at when that's happening. It's just not gonna fucking happen, guys. So I need to get the bird cam going. I need to get the AI, whatever it's painting, things like that. Build some shorts, little interludes. Don't worry about trying to produce a show that honestly, fair critique. People are like, your show's too long. I have too much to do. I'm really interested in what you have to say. How do I do it? Do the live stream and then really spend just more calories, more time clipping my live stream. Just even if I say something wrong, make all you guys wait and say, wait, let me say this again and go back and do this little bit that I have that I've written, just like I would draw a cartoon. I've written it and I want to deliver it now. And you guys are the audience that is gonna take it. And and if it takes 2 or 3 takes, then it might do that. It's a live stream. It's not a it's sort of like you're watching me record things or something. It, this for some reason lately it's been feeling like, oh, why haven't I been fucking this before? And I think it's because of the I don't I don't like what people think on the like what normal people believe in. I don't I don't really want to cater to that in the past. And I think though that if I was, I would actually be able to change, pollinate better. It's kind of related to what Lori was talking about earlier, but it's not that why don't I just keep doing what I'm doing, but take out these little tiny clips and send those out. And that audience, yeah, they're gonna be like, you don't fucking understand what Tucker Carlson's done for our nation and how patriot he is. He's a real patriot, James. You don't know shit. It's like then like 12 thumbs up on that within 45 minutes. And I want to be able to look at that and go, look at this magic. Look at this. Look at these crystals. Look at these flavor crystals of hate. This is beautiful. Like this is exactly what you do. Me, I know the message is, yeah, but both of them said that Donald Trump is going to be assassinated by Iran, but only Cameron and I are going to see that. Like that's it. That's fucking it. No one else is going to see that point. And I don't care. That's the live stream is for that. The dojo's for that, right? This is about what can you package, what can you shelve, and more importantly, James, what kind of self-worth do you feel that you are worthy of? Because honestly, I have a threshold. Patron's not meeting it right now. It's shy. I deserve that. I wrote a book. If any of you guys could up your pledge, it would help. But what I'd rather do is not have to do that. I'd rather us do what we do, and I just make enough off AdSense. I swear to fuck, that's what I'd rather do. I'd rather it just be that way, and I'd rather us be able to do what we do and everything just work there. I'd rather it be that way. I'd rather it be that way, right? I'm fine that this is how it has to be squeezed out. The only way I'd do this is if I wasn't making enough money. I fine, I get it. Okay, so it's okay with it. I'm not saying something has to change, but there are certain things that would be nice that could change. Little, just a couple of things. One was really important, and yeah, you get it. This is part of us just finding the new posture and where it goes and stuff like that. So this is what I'm kind of thinking is that then I can pull out a 1 minute clip, a 4 minute clip, a 12-minute clip. Now I'm allowed back on TikTok for just as of last week. I don't know why. So I'm not going to like ever comment anything on anything. I don't want to fuck that up. But even that, I threw up the Chicken C Sparks video short I made, which took me a while to make. Made this short, took a while to animate it. To my opinion, I'm like, it's great. It looks amazing. I would do this all day. I love this art. But when you look at how many people look at it versus how much time you put in, it's not really maybe the best thing for me. This is the part that I'm still learning. But even that, I was surprised at how many people saw that. So it's the short form, the vertical format is a whole other world, a whole other group of people in a completely different mindset, and it might be the just a fun little place to play around in, especially because I think all the ideas that we have here are ready for that. I've been taking some of our clips from Dojo and doing the same thing on the Dojo Earth channel, and we've gotten a lot more subscribers there. I'm not saying you guys are necessarily focused on that, but I would love if Dojo Earth would become its own airship and that just like it's running now, it would be its own self-sustaining, self-worth running coffee shop that runs all I would let's fucking do it, man. I want to see stuff like that. So anyway, that's sort of inside the cabinet of what I've been thinking lately. Thanks.
Well, that's true said. The live stream format is great. I actually became a Patreon back the first generation of the radio format, which I know it doesn't seem like people are willing to let you explore that avenue. But I like you in those senses. And I see sometimes that you will get on these bents where you're trying to improve audio quality for people and complain. But yeah, I think the ideas you have are you have such a solid grasp on them that they really work well in the live stream format.
I do want to get us. I'm sorry, but you said radio now. I can't help it. I would fucking love it if we were doing Doja Worth radio once a week. Like, I know we already have a brief, but seriously, if we could get to the point where that was something that we were doing, I think that you guys would find that when you know that only your voice is there, it makes you lean in. It makes you place your entire presence inside your voice. And this is why people talk like that on NPR. They naturally talk this way on NPR because they know this is the only chance I have to reach you through the darkness. the darkness. Do you guys have your tote bags yet? It's, I think that if we were to do that more, I think we'd have more fun because we'd notice how much more intimate. This is more intimate to me. It's, first of all, I don't mind visual. Visual's cool as fuck. But man, if we could do both, oh my God. And I think it frees you up because, hey, Wolfman Jack here coming in at you. You can be there. You can completely pretend and change your imagination for what you look like for the purpose of a character. So in my mind, it's more latent space. It allows you to, guys, let's do the radio. Come on, let's do fucking radio. Let's do it. So that, but we're getting there. We really are. We'll see, what's happening. So
Exciting to hear. Go ahead, Lori.
I just wanted to ditto everything. I think that your grasp of your subject matter and the way that you are able to riff, it is hysterically brilliant, funny, etc. I was at the mountain. I got on. My friend was watching. She isn't a patron, but she was laughing hysterical out loud, and it was like so relatable. And I want to, I really want. I'm going to order your book, and I'm not justifying. I just been on the road, and I don't want to order something to a mailbox that I'm not in yet. So it's happening, and I really see the level of your posture is so awesome right now that it is like I just see that it will be so supported. And that radio idea, I'm like, yeah, I think that like when you read a book and the movie kills it because it's just your mind did so much when you read it. And we forgot that, but that latent space of reading a book without the visuals is so powerful. So I'm like all for that. And I wanted to kind of speak on the Iran thing that you did. And I'm glad it kind of perked people because people think people are in these categories like this, Tucker's this and that's that and whatever. And, in my personal experience, my mom and dad went to Iran when the Shah of Iran was in power. And he worked teaching the people in Isfahan how to a part of the F-14 project because the Shah bought all this military stuff. So when you put all those clips in and the 60-minute clip, and I was like there, I aborted and went to Germany. I didn't go to Iran. I was scheduled to go to Iran. So that meant that when my dad was going for training to live in Iran, they were told it was Persia and it was all this, and Rumi comes from that. Hafiz comes from this culture that, like they were going to, and what was like the cultural, how you culturally would not offend a person in this country. We had to go for training for that. So I got this whole different type of education. And then the education of my father being over there, he was one of the last people getting out when they took the hostages. He was like on the last plane out. And I just remembered being part of that. And when you brought it up, and then how the Shah was interviewed and how it was all everything he said was turned and twisted and played against. And yet it's all like playing out now at the same time. The fact that it's so clear to me that you can see it and that others are not so clear. It's just that beyonder thing. It's just like you already kind of know before and then and then I'm like, whoa. And so it was a really amazing presentation. And I do really no, I really think that you should make the reptile into a book. It's a teaching, and it's hard to get that teaching sometimes only in video format because it's so much that you have to like understand about the brain. It's like a science of the brain, but understanding the science of consciousness in the brain. So I think different formats on different ways that people learn and take information in. I really think that even a little mini book or a chat book on the I forget the name of the reptile one, but that you didn't get a lot of people commenting on the video. Maybe the video format's not the correct format for that in-depth work. So that's all my thoughts on that. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Laura, for bringing that up. I wanted to mention the talking to reptiles also because I think in the last dojo where James almost called it his one idea, and I just without knowing any way how to commodify that, I think that it's just such a valuable lesson. It's educational, it's practical, in a therapeutic way. It's really done great work for me, so I can't recommend that highly enough.
Well, Sora is a video engine that I'm paying like $200 a month for right now. It's part of the Chat GPT Pro stuff Yesenia. That if you were, I had that turned on for editing during my last book, and if you have that on, you also get access to Sora, so you have unlimited access to the video editor. And I've been feeding it all my truly amazing slides that I compiled for from other AI for Talking to Reptiles, older slides, but just stunning, beautiful slides. And I this morning I last night and this morning I've been you write a transcript out, then you write prompts for, every 15 seconds. It's quite a lot of work. It's funny how we're like, it's not easy at all. It's fucking not easy at all. But you're writing prompts for each of those. And the video is just, it's just stunning. And I've been taking the talking to reptiles, and it looks like, Lori, what I'm going to try now is just really tiny bite-sized morsels, just little shorts, just a minute and a half here, 30 seconds here, 3 minutes here, 9 minutes here. Just try all those different things and try animating or not animating different things and just see how that works. See how that turns out to be palatable or not. And I get the feeling it will because the morsels are very interesting that the clips are giving me visually. So yeah, it's part of why I want to sort of I can't afford this unless we get a lot more patrons. I cannot afford this for the AI engine. It's worth it if you're seriously, if you're writing a book and you're ready for some serious editing, or if you really want to crank out some stuff, it's worth paying ChatGPT $200 a month. It's your unlimited requests really speed you up as you're trying to render and do things like that. So that's part of why you might notice that I'm just sort of been overworking, pushing a little bit harder, is because there's just this nice little window that's like everything is so juicy good right now. So thank you so much for the feedback. And yeah, let's keep talking about the radio. I would love to see us do that. So
I think that adds a lot of depth to when, like you said, you can lean into it, and you think that'd be interesting, with a book, radio, live stream, dojo, all the things, a little bit of something for everyone. I don't know. It seems like a good idea. Uh, I think that maybe just that's the things, maybe just the variety, like try to juggle it all at once somehow, or is that too hard? I don't know.
no, I think this is the way to what we're doing now, but with little breaks, little ins and outs. Renee was so good at helping us get there, honestly. If you remember, Renee was always like, hey, let's take a quick break. That was me daring us to, can we even do this? Can we even make ourselves because I didn't say this out loud, but I remember telling Renee, feel free to fill in what I'm missing here. But I remember telling Renee, if we can't even stay within 90 minutes, we can't really do a radio show because there's really no discipline there. Just when it comes to like what's next, what happens next. A radio show, I'm going to look like such an asshole because you're going to watch me freak the fuck out on all the dead space that we have between an
Uh,
action.
I,
The
I
transition
agree.
is so crucial.
I
It is
totally
everything to me. It's even more important than the note being saying is that space and the transition between, and the discipline that we would have to let's put some music in to allow the air to breathe, right? And then come back again. That's the discipline pie that I don't quite have yet because I really just like the topics and what we have. But if we did have more practice at that, I think that this is actually the model that would be the radio show. And then you just see me going into my stuff more and being able to throw graphics up and it not always be this screen that you're looking at right now.
I agree. The way I've always felt about it is that when you go even 1 second past like you have a fine bottle of wine, and then each second is like water you're adding to that bottle of wine. And just, I just don't, I feel it's very important to not go past, I mean, more important than you even think, like not even 1 second, or maybe like less than a minute, just because to me that sticks in my mind. It's like I want that wine to be fine and for everyone to be
Yeah.
able to have to
It's
enjoy it.
also it spoils so when you have to when you notice that you're cutting people short the first time, it sucks and you feel it's a tragedy and you think this is wrong. The second time, it suddenly starts to make sense because you notice that people start to pay more attention and that they have, I'm not going to name any names, but we have some people that purposely wait until the last 5 minutes and then raise their hand. They purposely do that and it's fine, but I want those people to hear this word correctly. I want those people to feel a little sourness when they don't get to do that. This makes everyone feel tighter. It makes everyone more disciplined. It makes everything more serious about when we start. You've noticed that I always come in directly at 12:30. Even though I'm ready, I could come in earlier. If I come in earlier, we're going to start talking. And if we're talking earlier, the show hasn't started yet. So what am I going to do? So I have to, I've literally like, what are they talking about? I want to say hi. I can't do that. I can't do that because as soon as I start, that's when the show starts, right? When we say everyone do a selfie and there's like nothing, it's like crickets and silence. It's like that kind of thing. Because I add music, so it's okay. But it's like if you didn't have the music there, you would feel how awkward it is to listen to that. And it's just delay. It's just learning how to, be adapted to what happens next and stuff like that. So it's a band practice, right? It literally is that we are in a band and our sounds are our vocals and quite honestly, our visuals. One of us could be more about, hey, let me find out what that word Mary Jo just said is, or here's the picture of tenant, or things like that. If that was queued up in the chat, I could share it, but I can't listen, share, think about this, do all this other stuff. Meanwhile, make sure we know what's coming next. That's why, like Renee coming in saying it's time for take a break. Like this, I'm not gonna be able to do that all the time. I have no idea what time it is right now. Like it's the last thing.
Can I jump in just 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've always found in ritual and ceremony, it's as important to close the way you close a ritual at a ceremony as the way you open it. Con- Complete the container.
The same thing goes for how you say something. And I need practice here too, but I want each of you to consider, first of all, I just want you to be a dojo, okay? I'm not asking for people to be perfect in there. Please hear that, okay? Seriously. Second of all, I think you'll find that most people have a problem knowing that it's okay to stop talking. That you're watching the confidence of someone, including myself, when they're speaking, they don't know how to end because they do not feel that they have delivered enough of their self and worth to warrant them stopping speaking. I can't tell you how often I see this on the mat. I don't say anything about it because it's just going to sound rude. And again, I can only spend so many calories being rude when it comes to like Cameron to pull you out. I felt so bad when I'm like, I have to get on to Cameron about closing. Like I felt bad. I didn't want to, I had to build up the courage to confront you. This, again, I know you're cool as fuck. I'm just telling you, this is what it feels like. It's like, oh God, I gotta fucking tell him this. All these things are expensive, and it's easy for me to feel that people have turned on me because they're watching me be a hard ass. It's really hard. It's actually why I don't have a band. I swear to fuck, I would have been in a band a long time ago, but people they saw how serious I was when I was younger, and they was like, dude, I don't know about this. I'm just like, no, we're gonna fucking do this, man. We can fucking do this. We can play 7/8. We can do this. We can do 15/16s. I will fucking show you the way. And people are like, I'm fucking out of here. So I have to be careful, is what I'm trying to say. I really do. I'd rather, what we do is perfect. What we do is perfect. If we wanted to do a radio show one night a week, it would be really better if it was more confident, polished, and each of us were purposely practicing karaoke by speaking. We were purposely coming here to practice perfection, kind of like a glee club, kind of like being in a quartet, except for it's a stoic not always stoic, but a philosophical quartet, right? Where we're sounding in and doing these things in between. And then as those things got really smooth, it'd be a lot easier for me to integrate music or to cut into breaks or do things like that. So
It's
Plus,
great
I think
stuff. I love
it'd
to
be
hear
cool
it.
if you had headphones, you know, like I find it easier to do that when you have headphones and you have the feedback of your voice in your ears
yep.
is good for radio. Like, wouldn't that be cool if everybody had headphones? Like if we just tried to, I don't know, I think it would add to it just qualitatively, just and then things would, because you respond to that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, it's great stuff. And I realize we're at time here. I don't mind going on about this. I really don't. Also, if Cameron, if you want to close it now, that's fine too. But there is more that we could say about this and things like that too. But ultimately, I would want you to know that the only reason why I think it would be cool to have a radio show that had a higher pressure situation like this is because it gives you the opportunity to come and do something where you're kind of nervous, where you're kind of like, oh God, I'm kind of, to me, this is fun because would be us being in dojo, the dojo that I've wanted the whole time we could have without us needing a giant corona where there's like a eugenics program with an ancient archaic like natural seed of do we make more Jews kids or not and all this other stuff. We could change all that and just set the pressure of we're running a radio show and I failed the group. And now I'm having the vitriol of failing the group and now I'm going to talk to the group and this is the gold. This is the campground vision is right here would be guys, you're going to make me Kermit the Frog, and I will kiss every one of your asses if you let me run that theater. And you guys come in with your Zeke Boomerang Fish Act, and you come in and you say, James, let's fucking put this on the radio, and be like, all right, why not? Let's do it all, and Miss Piggy, all of you. I want all of those personalities to have that opportunity to be vitriolic and personal, and for everyone to see them, because this is what humans would do. This is like the actual definition of a reality show. Not like the reality version of a reality show, right? But like the actual way it would work. So
Love to hear it. I'm with you guys, a troop or whatever. I'm surprised to hear that you guys don't like awkwardness, though. I mean, you didn't know that some people enjoy things ironically these days? I'm just kidding.
welcome to the
Go
awkward
ahead.
hour.
Yeah. It's a couple of minutes past,
Tonight.
so we'll go ahead and close it out. And shout out to everybody who's he mentioned Renee doing the middle markers. Yeah, it's been fun watching this show develop. And if everybody would unmute and get ready for a selfie, and we'll all say goodbye.
3, 2, 1. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Come on, the show, everybody.